Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Ghost here and welcome back to another Battlegrounds video, guys. Today this is actually my first commentary on Battlegrounds, and I just want to say to you guys, like, I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips on how you can get started in this game if you actually are new to it, and how to get weapons faster and how to actually get your kit up really well, like your setup, especially in solo plays. So yeah, let's go. Alright guys, tip number one is to actually, when you jump out of the plane, you want to go right over a city or wherever you want to go and go straight into a nosedive. That basically you descend much faster down to the ground, and you'll be able to land before everybody else. And instead of actually landing on in a field or on the actual ground, go for a rooftop because you'll land faster than everybody else. Make sure the rooftop actually has a door though, so you can go down the stairs, and you'll be able to get loot much quicker because you landed before everybody else. So yeah, that's tip number one. Alright guys, tip number two, if you're walking around and you can't find a gun, do pick up a melee tool, or a melee weapon should I say, because it really could help you out. If somebody came into your building, it really could help you out, even though they're not that great at this stage in the game, but it really could help you out. But if you're going around a big building and you see a pistol and you want to avoid it because you want to get bigger weapons, I recommend picking up the pistol because it could save your life if anybody invaded your building. When you're scouting out a building, guys, as well, and you actually go to enter the building, keep a lookout for, or keep your ears open, should I say, for any footsteps above you, because the sounds in this game are actually really realistic and you'll be able to hear if anybody's in your building. So make sure that you can actually hear your game volume really well while you're in the buildings, that nobody's above on the second floor while you're in the first floor looting. If you go to enter a building, guys, from like the front entrance, for example, and you see that the back entrance door is already open, most likely, like 100% of the time, the building has already been looted. Alright guys, so this is another tip, and I find this tip actually a great tip. If you go to a city or a group of houses, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and you see that like all the doors are opened in every single building except for one, and probably that building has a second floor compared to the others, I don't know, and all that building doors are closed, more than likely there's going to be people camping in there that close the doors. So basically when they walk in, or when you walk into their building, they'll hear the door opening, and that's why people close the doors behind them if they're going to camp in the building. So if you see all the houses doors are open and there's one house with the doors closed, you can nearly assume that there's going to be someone in there. But guys, you can do that yourself if you want. You can actually sit in a building and camp it out if you want. If you're in a good position in regards to the circle, you can literally close all the doors in the building, mainly the front and back entrance. That's all you really need to close in the building, and just camp up into the second floor and just chill out there and wait for people to come towards you. It's a really good strategy because if anyone enters your building, you'll be able to hear their footsteps, you'll be able to hear their door opening, downstairs or whatever. Alright guys, another tip that you may know already is the actual driving in this game. Driving in this game should only be used in emergencies, and the reason why is that cars can be heard from miles away, absolutely miles away. You'll hear one coming from miles away if you played the game before. And you know, it's just a big distraction, and people will take shots at you because that's what they're like in Battlegrounds. You know, they're very aggressive players, some of them, especially if they have a suppressor. You won't know where the shots are coming from, so they're definitely going to take a couple of shots on you. And you know, probably about 70% of the time they do get a shot on you, and you have to waste a first aid kit or waste a bandage, or a couple of bandages, should I say, you know, which is completely pointless. If you would have walked and go tree to tree or cover to cover, whatever it's a rock or a tree, whatever, you'd be actually much safer and much quieter as well. The only time I actually recommend using a car is in emergency situations where you have to get to the next zone quickly. Alright guys, another good tip is to actually play on the outside of the circle. Doing this, you don't have to watch your back because the blue zone is behind you, so nobody's going to be behind you in the blue zone. Like, there's absolutely no reason for it, or else they'll end up dying. So if you play the outside of the circle, all you have to do is watch in front of you. If you're in the center of the circle, most of the time, especially in my recent video, you get sandwiched in to a single building, and enemies are coming from all angles, and you really don't have a chance. Even in squad, it's very difficult to actually hold down one building if you're in the middle, because there's other squads as well surrounding you. It'll be the same in solo when it comes down to the last couple of circles where you're just sitting in a building in the center. Everybody knows you're in there, and you know they're all going to be coming towards you. So yeah guys, sticking to the outside of the circle is probably the best bet. Just literally stay behind a tree or a rock or something on the outskirts, and you'll be able to look inland towards the center. Guys, believe it or not, I found in my games anyway that crate drops, not many people go for them. I find that when I see a crate drop that landed a long time ago in the game, you know, sometimes it hasn't even been looted. It's not really popular if someone goes for a crate drop because what I said earlier, cars give off you know, a big disadvantage because of the noise of them. So not many people would drive that distance just for an airdrop, especially because some airdrops would have like really crap loot in it, like an M249. I personally don't like that gun myself, or even a Tommy gun. You know, it's probably the same as an M16 or an M4. It probably does a higher damage, but it's not that important. But if you get a sniper, you know, it's really, really good. So going for the airdrops would be a good thing to do, I believe, you know, sometimes. It depends how far away it is, or how far in the circle it is, or whatever. But if you get a sniper and an 8x scope, you're pretty good. You could just literally camp on the outside of the circle and just snipe everyone that comes in, especially if you have a suppressor. They won't know where the shots are coming from. Alright guys, another tip is the weapon spawn. Snipers, well, one sniper like the Kar 98 and the SKS, they're the only two snipers that you can actually get from loot, like in buildings. I find the SKS, like I've nearly 200 hours on this game now, and I find that SKS is mostly found in the second floor of random houses, and the Kar 98 is usually found at the shooting range or either in warehouses or in the watchtower. I never really see a Kar 98 in houses. It's very, very rare. But anyway guys, if you're watching this video and you don't have the game, I do recommend you do buy it because it is very addicting. As I said earlier, I have nearly 200 hours on this game and I just got it about 2 weeks ago. It's really, really fun to play, especially if you have friends to play with. If you want to see what the game is like in action, remember to check out my other videos of the gameplay highlights of Battlegrounds, especially my recent one where we got trapped and sandwiched in with the circle, like what I was saying earlier, not to do that. But yeah guys, I'm going to leave this video here. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please leave a like, leave a comment as well. I'd really appreciate that guys. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.